Hi my loves, welcome back or welcome to a new video. So as you guys could tell from the title, in this video we will be going over some of my anticipated reads for 2025, and then we're going to also do some predictions of like what books I think could potentially be a 5-star. I have around 17 to 18 books that even I was shocked by. I was like scrolling, I had some books that I knew would come out in the new year, but also I have books that I found like whilst browsing Instagram and TikTok and then Goodreads, and then I've kind of formulated a list based on books that I either have the books to, like I haven't started it yet but I already have like some of the books from my physical TBR, or they're some of my favourite authors, or they're from series that I've started already and the next book is coming out in 2025. But I'm so super excited. I feel like 2025 is going to be a year of great books and I'm just so excited. This year was such a good year for me when it came to reading. I discovered some new books that I love, some new authors, and now it is the time again to go over some of the new releases for 2025. One, so you guys are aware, but two, I'm going to talk about some of my anticipated reads that I'm really excited about, plus obviously, as I said, books from series that I am planning to start next year. So I'm really excited to go over this list. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's get to it and let's go talk about my 2025 anticipated reads. So let's talk about 2025. 2025 is less than a month away. Like, I don't even know what to think of that, but I have a whole list and I will be using my phone to help me if you guys are wondering where I'm like looking down. So first up we have Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. This book comes out on the 18th of February. So this book is the sequel to The Crimson Moth by this author. I have this book on my TBR. I don't know if I'm going to be finishing it by the end of this year, but it's definitely a book that I'm planning to read next year, and I definitely want to be caught up before the next book comes out, and that book comes out obviously on the 18th of February. All I know about the series is it's Hunter versus Huntress. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but obviously we feature this girl. She has this power where she can like turn into a moth, whatever, and there's this guy who's like a hunter and he's like hunting her, but he doesn't know it's her, and I think they kind of form like a relationship or something like that. I don't know, but all I know is that I'm excited to read it, and hopefully I'll be able to read it before this new book comes out. And Rebel Witch, I know people are excited about. I know that people have raved so much about The Crimson Moth, so I'm really excited to be reading that. So hopefully I can eventually read this book, and that book comes out in February. And then next up we have Watch Me by Tiafa Mafi. So this is actually a spin-off series from the Shatter Me series. I am so excited for this. This book was announced not that long ago, and I am super excited to see Juliet and Warner and all the other characters, and I just think it's just going to be so fun to read. It's going to be very like dystopian, because if you guys don't know, the Shatter Me series is a YA dystopian feel fantasy, and I absolutely love this series, and I've binged it this year in 2024, and I'm really excited to start a brand new series by her, and it's a spin-off from the original series, so I'm super excited for that. And that one comes out on the 15th of April, so I'm actually all caught up because I've now just finished the Shatter Me series about 2 months ago, I would say, and now it is time. I'm all prepared to read this new series, and I'm really excited. I don't know if it's going to be a series or not, or if it's just a standalone book. And then next up we have, you know, a baby. We have The Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This book comes out on the 21st of January. I am super excited for this. If you guys know, I've raved about Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Iron Flame is like my baby, and the way that ended, I need that book right now. Onyx Storm, I am waiting for that so much, and I'm so happy. I'm actually doing a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in preparation for that book to come out, and I'm just super excited to see the gang again. It's going to be so fun. This is like a high stakes war dragon fantasy, and I'm obsessed with it, so I'm really excited for the new book to come out. There are actually like release parties, and usually it's something that you only really see in America, but I know in the UK they've have announced some, and I literally just missed it the day that they were coming out for you to like book to go, and I'm like devastated. But I'm gonna like have like my own little release party at home, I don't know, but I am super excited for the book to come out, and it's not long to go until I have my hands on that baby, so I'm super excited for that. And I definitely think that could be a potential 5 stars, just because Fourth Wing I gave a 4.5 and the Iron Flame has been a 5 star, so my expectations are extremely high for that book, and I think that I can have a 5 star for it indefinitely. And I'm just so excited to hopefully read it, and not hopefully read it, I know I'm going to read it, but I am excited to read it when it does come out. And then next up we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This book comes out on the 22nd of April, and if you know, Emily Henry is one of those auto-buy authors. I love her writing style. She has that raw and realistic writing style that the characters feel so complex and three-dimensional, and I'm super excited about this book. I think all I know is that the 2 main characters is like enemies to lovers, which quite a few of her books are on, and they're both authors, and they like have like 2 different personalities, as we probably have. So it's probably the same similar like storyline as like Book Lovers. Is it Book Lovers? Or Beach Read? No, Beach Read. It kind of has a similar premise as that. But I am super excited nonetheless to read it. And obviously that one comes out in April, so I still have a bit of time. I only have one more book to read of Emily Henry's, but all her books are standalone, so you can read them differently. And I'm super excited to read that in 2025. That can potentially be a 5 stars as well, because Funny Story and Happy Face were both 5 stars for me. And Book Lovers and that, they were like a 4 stars, but I definitely think the newer writing style of Emily Henry is like, I crave it, so I enjoy it so much. I definitely think this book also has high hopes, so if not 5 stars, definitely between the 4.5 to like 5 star like section. But I am super excited for the book to come out and to read it. Next up we have The Lyric Love by Christina Forrest. This book, I'm super excited for this. I actually haven't read her first book, which is A Neighbour Favour. I think this is part of the same series, if I'm correct. And I'm super excited. This is a black romance, and this is an author that I've been really excited to get into. I'm hoping to read The Neighbour Favour by the end of this year, but if not, I am trying to push myself to read it, because obviously I want to read it before the new book comes out, and I've heard great things about this. Again, I think this book can have a very good rating. I don't know yet because I haven't read anything by this author, but it seems that the track record when I have with black romance is that I don't give it usually less than like a 4.25. I think my lowest rated black romance was a 4.25 or 4.5, because they're just so good and I could just relate to them on such a different level. It's just amazing, and chef's kiss. And I just love the way black women and black authors write a black love. It just makes me so happy, and it really just like gives such a great representation of black love out there to the younger generation, and I just love that, and I can't wait to read this book. The cover is so beautiful as well. I think it's just such a cute cover. This book comes out on the 4th of February, so quite soon. It's actually 4 days before my birthday, so you know, I might have to get that book as part of like a little book haul to myself, and I'm just so excited to read it. So next up we have another fun release, and that is no other than Fearless by Lauren Roberts. So I recently read Powerless and then Powerful. You guys will see like my reactions of this soon. I have a vlog that I think should have been out by now in terms of planning my bookmas content. It should be out now, and I loved Powerful. That was a 4.7, 4.5 for me. That was actually a series that I took such a long time to read, but I was not disappointed when I read it. And Fearless is the last book in this little trilogy. Is that what it's even called? But I'm super excited for this one. Lauren Roberts has just become one of my favourite authors. Only reading one book of hers, I just find her such an inspiration. It's like, she's not that much older than me. I think we're like around the same age, and she's just such an inspiration. Her books are so good. They're YA, but they have that like, I don't even know how to say it, like it has the tension is so good. It has those like hidden little glances, the little flirtation, the chemistry is like off the charts, and this book I'm obsessed with, as I've been loving the series so far. So I'm so excited to see Fearless and to see what happens next in the book, because this book series has taken me through a whirlwind, to say the least. And this book comes out on the 8th of April, so still a while. So I might even end up doing a reread of Powerless. I'm not sure yet, because I've only read it quite recently. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a reread or not. Maybe just do like a skim through and like go through and like highlight my favorite bits, and maybe do like a little bit of a summary page. But I am super excited to read it in 2025, and I definitely think this could potentially be a 5 stars. Like, I'm giving it a 5-star rating already. It needs to be that. I would be very disappointed, but it's definitely up there for my anticipated reads for 2025. So next up we have another very exciting, probably the most anticipated read on this list, and that is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. This is the 3rd book in the Skyland sister series, and I'm so excited for this. I recently read This Could Be Us in the month of November, and that book was amazing. Like, it was amazing. My 5-star read, like, I would probably say that's one of my favourite reads of 2024, and I will get a little bit more into that. But Can't Get Enough is Henrik's story, and I can't wait. She is the one that I most relate to, because in the first 2 books they're both like been married, and it's kind of dealing with like marriage and having kids, but Henrik is the only one amongst their friendship group that's single and doesn't have kids, and she's actually the richest. So I am so excited for her book. She is such a like ball of energy, and I can't wait to see her get the love that she deserves. And the way Kennedy Ryan writes as well, I just know this book's gonna hit me. I feel like there's gonna be so much deeper things we're gonna learn about this character, and also the male protagonist that she's going to be with, and she just deserves someone so special, as well as all the other women in the other books. Like, she is such a good friend, so I can't wait to see her get her own happy ending, and I'm just so super excited for it. Kennedy Ryan, again, is one of my autobiography authors, and she is like the queen of black romances. Obviously I still have many more that I want to read, but she is definitely an author that I go to straight away for black romance, because she is just a beautiful writer, and she knows how to like personally hurt me, because some of the things that happens in her books, like, you feel like it's happening to you, so you feel so hurt. But I just love her writing style. It's just so raw, so beautiful, and again, her characters are so 3-dimensional and complex, and yeah, love this series. This book comes out on the 13th of May, so again, still have a while until it comes out, so I might end up rereading the first 2 books, but they're still quite fresh in my mind. And obviously This Could Be Us is something that I read in November, but I am super excited to read this new latest book, and I definitely think it has the I don't know the word to call it. It basically, I know it's going to be a 5 stars. If it doesn't, I will be super surprised. But again, I'm super excited, and I can't wait for the final book in this trilogy, even though I am excited because I want to read more and more of Kennedy Ryan. But she has plenty of books. I also have the Hoop series by her, which I'm really excited to start in the new year, and I have the completed series, but I am especially excited for the new book that's going to come out next year. Next up we have Spithe and Sparrow. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That is by Brian Weaver. So this book comes out on the 11th of February. This is based on the other 2 books. It's like part of a series. So the first book is The Butcher and the Blackbird, I believe. And then the second book, I have no idea what the second book's about, but this is a dark romance series. The first 2 books are on my list of books that I want to read, and this book obviously comes out in the new year, so I definitely want to have it as my TBR for 2025 alongside the first 2 books. I can't really say much about this book because I haven't read the first 2 books, but I am super excited. It's a dark romance. I love dark romance. It's like my guilty pleasure, and I think it's going to be really fun. People say it's quite a fun little dark romance. It's definitely got some weird things in it, which is what dark romance usually consists of, but I know it's going to be fun and spicy, and your girl is ready for that, so I am super excited to hopefully read that in the new year. And next up we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This book, I actually have no idea when it comes out. I didn't really check. I was looking at a TikTok when I found it, and there wasn't any dates on it, but I know it comes out in 2025. That's all I know. This book is the second book in a series, so the first book is Phantasma, November. I read this in the month of November as part of the November book club pick for Sarah's book club, and I really enjoyed that one. It was a dark romance fantasy, like gothic one, and it's just really fun. It's like a trial of games, and you get like thrown into it, or this girl gets thrown into it, and basically the one like rule is like not fall in love, but you know what's gonna happen. And I think it's gonna be super fun. I've never read like a dark romance and a fantasy in one, but I love both the genres, so I just think this book is gonna be amazing. And following the first book, I am super excited to be reading the next one. So next up we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. Guys, I'm so excited. You guys know I'm excited. So this is part of a series. So the first book is Wild Love and the second book is Wild Eyes. This series is so good, guys. So good. It's all based on single dads, and let's just say Elsie Silver is the queen of cowboy romance and single dad romance. Like, I can't even lie, and I'm super excited for the new book. And you already know what I'm gonna say. This book hopefully does have the potential to be a 5 stars. Also on like Elsie Silver's like mailing list, so I get like some like sneak peeks and stuff like that, and I've always used to get like the early releases of the book, so I'm excited to hopefully potentially get that to read before it comes out. But I am super excited for that, and I think it has the prospect of getting a 5 stars definitely, and I am super excited to read it. That book comes out on the 4th of March, so not that long away, but I am super excited, and I'm gonna prepare myself because obviously I've read the first 2 books, and you can, I think, get them on Kindle for free. Don't count me on that, but I am super excited to read this new book that comes out next year. Another book by an author that is my auto buy, and that is Elle Kennedy. She is the queen, I would say, of found family hockey, not even just hockey, like sports romance. She is a queen, and her newest book, The Charlie Method, is going to be coming out on the 25th of February. I am so excited for this. I have heard that this book is actually a why choose romance, so 1 girl and 2 guys, and I am super excited for that. I actually really enjoy this series, I think even more so than the off-campus series, but I think it's because it has the nostalgia of the off-campus series plus the new characters, and also like some characters that are related to the original characters. So I am super excited about this. I don't know much about this, but all I know is it's going to be spicy. It's going to be why choose. I recently read The Dixon Rule, which came out this year, and I was obsessed with it. That book was amazing. Like, it was so good, and she just adds like another element of surprise and spice, and I just love her books. This again I think can even have a potential to be a 5 stars, because the Dixon Rule was so up there for me for being a 5 stars. I don't even know, it might have actually been a 5 stars. I need to go back and see my rating, but it definitely was up there for like my top rated books in 2024, and I am super excited to read The Charlie Method. I have heard so many good things about what it could potentially be about, and yeah, I'm just really excited for that one, so we'll see. And next up we have a book that I only recently discovered based on a series that I recently started. So I recently read Lights Out by this author, by Navisa Allen, and this is a dark romance. If you love Haunting Adeline, this book is perfect for you. So the new book that comes out next year is Caught Up, and that's obviously following, or maybe a standalone, probably like an interconnected standalone of the first book. And I just loved the book so much that as soon as I saw that a new book was coming out, I was like, that needs to go on my anticipated reads. In terms of this book, I don't really know what it's going to be about, but obviously if it was following anything that happens in the first book, I just know it's going to be so good, and I can't wait to read that. Like, the first book was so good. It's a cat and mouse situation, but I think it's way less controversial than Haunting Adeline. So if you want something that's a little bit more mild compared to Haunting Adeline but still has the dark romance element, I definitely recommend reading it, because it is really fun and really easy to read, and it's just really funny as well. The characters I find are really funny, so I am hopefully going to read this next year. And I think this also could have a potential maybe in 5 stars, because the first book that I read was about a 4.5 for me, so I am super excited to read that. That one also comes out on the 10th of June, so I do have a little bit of a while, so I can read the first book again if I wanted to, plus it's on Kindle Unlimited. And then next up we have another auto buy author, and that is no other than Ashley Poston. I have fallen in love more and more with this author. I read The 7 Year Slip by her, and then I recently read Another Love Story. I absolutely adored that one. one. So I am super excited for her newest book, which is called Sounds Like Love. This book will be coming out on the 17th of June. I don't know anything about this book, I can't lie. All I saw is that it was coming out, super excited, and if it was anything like all the other books, it's going to have the magical realism that I love with Ashley Poston. She has quite a unique take on writing, and I just find her book very refreshing, and again the writing as well is very beautiful, and you can resonate with a lot of the messages and the dialogue that you read whilst you're reading the book. So I am super excited for her newest release. And then next up, again, we have another auto-buy author, and that is no other than Anna Hugh. So she actually has 2 books that I am super excited about that are coming out next year. So the first book is The King of Envy. I just know, guys, this book definitely has the potential to be a 5 stars. Like, I am super excited. We have a beautiful dark-skinned black woman as the main protagonist, and I've already been seeing so many fan edits, and I'm obsessed. And this book is based on, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, it's Vak, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Anania, I think her name is. So she's a supermodel that actually works with Stella, who is a main protagonist in the Twisted series, and I can't wait for this book. So she's actually getting married, and he is like a morally grey character, and he's been a character in the books that when you meet him, he's very morally grey, doesn't really talk, he's quite moody, but he is obsessed with her. And again, this book definitely reminds me of Twisted Lies, where we have Christian and Stella and that obsession, and I just know this book is going to be probably my favourite. Like, I just know this book's going to be my favourite. I have so much hope for this book. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be so fun, so spicy, and I'm just obsessed. And that book comes out on the 25th of March, so again, not that far into the year. And I'm super excited to read it. And then again, following on from Anna Hugh, we have The Defender. This is the second book in her new series, which is based off footballers. I don't know if they're all going to be based on footballers, but the first book, which is The Striker, I absolutely adored. I read that one. I gave it a 4.5. It was such a great introduction into the new series. And this new book, I think the second book is actually based off the main female protagonist in the first book, her brother. And guys, I am so freaking excited for this book. This book comes out in October 25, so quite a while until it comes out, but nevertheless I am super excited. And Anna Hugh she just kills the game every single time, and she just went from doing perfect tropey romances to now doing sports romances. Like, what can't she do? Like, what can't she do? So if you haven't read anything from her, I definitely recommend reading her other books. She has the Twisted series, she has the Kings of Sin series, which the King of Envy is part of, and then she has other little books as well. So I am super excited to read this book next year, and just to read Anna Hugh, the fact that she can release 2 books a year, this girl, she's a queen, she's a queen. And then next up, Lauren Asher has a brand new book coming out next year. So this is the 3rd book in her Lakefront Billionaire series. This book currently doesn't have a title. All I know, it comes out in 2025, and I think it comes out in May. So it's the 13th of May, but the book name hasn't been released yet. And this series I've actually been really enjoying. I wouldn't say it's my favourite series from her, because the Dreamland Billionaire series just owns my heart on a different level, but I am nevertheless super excited for this new book. I have no idea what this one's about. All I know, it's by Lauren Asher, and if she's gonna write it, I'm gonna buy it, and that's all you need to know. But I'm super excited. This is the 3rd book in a series, so definitely recommend checking out the first 2 books if you haven't. But I am super excited to read this new book in the new year, especially as I'm caught up now with the first 2 books in the series. So I am super excited to get into it. And then next up, we have Destructively Mine by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This book is actually the 2nd book in a series. I think the other one is Dishonesty something, I don't know. But in terms of the books by Krista and Becca Ritchie, I recently discovered these authors this year whilst reading the Addicted series. The Addicted series has definitely been probably one of my favourite series to come out of 2024. Series, I don't know anything about it, I'm not gonna lie. This is obviously the second book in the series and I'm planning to read the first one, but again, Krista and Becca Ritchie, I'm super excited to read more of their books in the new year after finishing the Vindictive series, and I just think it's gonna be good and fun, and hopefully it's like got a bit of element of found family, because I feel like they just do found family like no other. And yeah, the stories that they write again is so relatable, and you have a lot of empathy for the characters that you meet in their books. So I am super excited to read that one. I don't know if I mentioned it, that book is coming out on the 29th of April. Next up, we actually have a new book by someone that's actually my favourite TikToker, or one of my favourite TikTokers. So we have Eden Victoria. She has decided to become an author, and she is one of the most sophisticated, beautiful women that I've ever met, and I just love her TikTok feed and the way she talks. She's just so elegant, and she's also a UK girly, and I actually believe that she might be from London as well. I absolutely love her channel, her TikTok account. She's just announced that she's coming up with a book. So this is going to be a bodyguard romance, and guys, stop. I am so freaking excited. Obviously this is her debut novel. I just think it's going to be so good knowing her, and she has very similar taste to me when it comes to reading and like my reviews and ratings. So I definitely think what she's going to be writing is going to be my cup of tea, and bodyguard romances. I'm feral right now, like I feel so feral. I'm super excited. The cover, as you guys can see, is so freaking beautiful, and I can't wait to read it. And yeah, just so excited. That book also comes out in March of 2025, so it's definitely going to be a book that I'm going to grab straight away as soon as it comes out, because it's going to be so good, and I think it's just going to be amazing. And obviously I'm not going to put any pressure because it is a debut novel. It's her first time writing a book that like everyone's seen publicly, but I am super excited to read it in the new year. Next up, we have Phantom by H.D. Charlton. So she is the author of the Haunting Adeline series, which is the Cat and Mouse duet, and this book is actually a prequel, and we're gonna get Gigi's story, which is the main character, Adeline's grandmother. And this series is very mystery, dark romance. It is an extreme dark romance. I know some people don't like it, it's not a cup of tea, but it's recently announced that she's doing a prequel, and I'm super excited for this. It's going to be called Phantom, and we already know like the background story of the grandma and everything she experienced, so being able to actually have a first like POV glance of it, I'm super excited. And actually for the longest time I thought H.D. Charlton was a man, but she's very much a woman, and she's an icon. She's an icon. I can't wait to read this book. I just think it's going to be so good. I think it also has a potential to be 5 stars, because I loved that element in the Haunting Adeline series, and I can't wait to see like a proper book that just focuses on that. And that book also comes out January 21st, the same time as Onyx Storm. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but who cares. But I am super excited to get my hands on both of them, and I definitely have my eye on this book. And then last but certainly not least, which I'd probably say is my most anticipated read of 2025, this book is no other than Breathe With Me by Becca Mack. Guys, this book is the it's the 5th book in the Playing for Keeps series. Becca Mack, if I was to say my favourite author, it'll be this woman right here. Her books are the most beautiful, spicy, found family, everything, basically everything. She ticks every single box, and I can't freaking wait for this book. All I know is this book comes out in 2025. It's not announced yet, and I just love her books. I was very fortunate to get an arc of Forward Me. Obsessed with it. Literally every single book in this series has been a 5 star for me, and if that doesn't tell you how good the series is, I do not know what will. Like, this book series, I would say, is most of the underrated series that I've ever heard about. People do not give it the time of day that it deserves. These characters are so complex, so three-dimensional, so funny, and the found family aspect that you get whilst reading these books, what more can you want? And Breathe With Me follows two characters that are actually together already, but we get to see a little bit more of them, and I am super excited. And you know, this is my application again to get an ARC for it, because this book is beautiful. I love it. This series is beautiful, and yeah, I can't wait to read it. And this is the final book on the list, but it is not the least at all. This book is probably 10 times going to be a 5 stars. I can only predict it. If it's not 5 stars, I will shoot myself, because every single book in the series has been 5 stars and there's already 4 books. I don't even know what else to say about this book. All I know, Breathe With Me, when it comes out, that's going to be my new personality. So when you guys are wondering why is Amy talking about this book about 500 times, that is why, because this series is my personality. And I am planning to do a reread before the new books come out. The new book comes out, and I think it's actually the last book in the series. I don't want it to be, because the series is just my whole entire heart. Like, I'm obsessed with it, and like just thinking about the new book is making me like think about all the other books and all the other characters, and I'm super excited to read it in 2025. But that is it for today's video. Those were all the books on my anticipated reads for 2025. Of course, those are not all the books that I have on my list for 2025. I have a whole physical TBR that is there in my book room. However, these are all the new releases coming out in 2025 that I'm planning to buy and indulge in, and I can't wait. And also, I've spoken about my 5-star reads, and if I think any of these books will be a 5 stars, we'll come back to this hopefully maybe next year, where we go over like, did I actually read these books and what I actually thought about them. But as I said, I'm super excited to read all these books and to also discover new books in 2025, as there's going to be so many more releases beyond even what I have on my list. This is just a list based on the books that I have read, that I can't wait for the next book, or the books that are on my agenda. So I hope you guys enjoyed this bookmas video. That is it for now. I hope you guys are okay. Let me know in the description box down below, what are your anticipated reads? Do you have any of the same ones as me, or do you have any different ones? Obviously, as I usually say, if you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. I feel like I haven't said that for such a long time. Also, follow my socials down below. Of course, we have over 1,000 now on my channel, but I'm trying to reach 1,000 on my Instagram. So if you guys want to see more of my ins and outs of my life, definitely check them out my Instagram, because I'm more active on there. That is it for now, everyone. Stay blessed, and as I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.